Hi, my name is Sarah and I own Blush and Blade Training Academy and we're based in Horwich in Bolton. Today we're going to be doing a brow mapping video for you, so we're going to do a really quick and easy way to stencil brows. I use this method for permanent makeup, but it can be used for any other brow treatments as well. So now we're going to show you how to map the brows quickly and effectively. So the first thing we're going to do is just alcohol wipe the skin just to make sure there's no brow product on. Just give that a good wipe. I often find if you're going to take a before picture to just mess the brows up a bit, make the brows look worse than they are, because it'll make your picture automatically look better at the end. I find the trick to stenciling is to actually just have two pencils, one that you can rub down your string, because we're going to use string for this, and the other to draw on, so that you're not snapping your pencils. So we're just going to rub the pencil down the string to mark it, and it doesn't matter if this snaps now, so we've got two. So everybody overthinks this part, so you're just going to try and get centre down the face. Don't overthink it, just mark roughly where you think is central. We can sit the client up and check this after. So the next part for me would be to mark out where we want the brows to start. So we can see here, this brow is like shorter at the front and this is slightly longer. So to me, we need to elongate the front of this brow. So you're always just trying to make sure your string is completely straight. We're just going to use this brow on the left to mark out the brow on the right. Just give a little pull and you should get a good mark. And then for the thickness of the brow, obviously we'd ask our client when they come in what they're after, but really from looking at this we can just see the old tattoo has faded and it's shrunk. So for me, we're just needing to build that height up back to where the old strokes are. So this side's fine, this side we need to build up. So we're now just going to mark out the front exact same as before, so this, and we're just going to mark where we want to be. You don't want to press where the hair is, you want to go underneath the hair and straight across if you can. And then the next point we're going to mark is where the arch is. So for me, we're just going to go naturally off where her highest hair is. So as you can see, her old tattoo, to be fair, is pretty much where we need it to be. So we're just going to make a little mark either with the string or with your pencil. It doesn't really make a difference now. So if we just mark here where her highest hair is, and this mark we're now going to measure from here with our calipers and just flip it to this side, just make your life easier. So one tip is to just rub your pencil down the back of your calipers. It might look a bit messy, but then it's easier to mark it on the skin now. So if we measure from the centre to this mark we've made and do the exact same on this side, and it marks the skin automatically for us. The next point we need to mark up is where the brows are going to end. So I find it's easier to go from the corner of the nose, corner of the eye and to the end, and exact same on the other side, corner of the nose, corner of the eye to the end of the brow. So we'll just do that. So your client will end up with marks all over the face. And we'll do the same on the other side. Don't overthink it. Everybody just really overthinks, but for now we're just making some little marks and we can change it. Obviously it's pencil. So now we just need to work out how high we want the arch to be. So I like Tasha's brows, but if she, say, wanted them slightly thicker, we can see her brow hair is slightly higher than where the old tattoo is. So we could go off that marker. So let's just do that for the purpose of this video. We're going to make them slightly thicker. So again, we use our string and we're going to go off this side. So where you want the highest point to be, don't mark your string up here. You're going to stick close to the brow hair and try and completely straight line across to the other side. This might take you a few goes, or you might want to sit your client up. If you've noticed, I've actually got Tasha. She's not fully flat on the bed, but she's not fully sat up, because I find when you do that, your client moves when you're pressing on them. So for me now, that looks fine. It's slightly higher on this side. You can see where the brow hair is, and we're trying to make it a little bit thicker to match this one where she's got slightly more hair. And now all you're going to do is go up to this point in a straight line. So from the front of the brow to your arch in a complete straight line. So we're not going to peak any sooner. We're only going to touch this line once we're here on that marker we made before. So completely straight, And if you notice it's only touching on that point, just turn your head slightly, Tasha, yeah, ta. You can see it's crossing there, and that's perfect for us. And the exact same on the other side, completely straight, peeking at where that mark was. So these pointers now I do wipe off because we don't need these for now, and it can get a little bit confusing. But for now we'll just leave them on, but you can, if you're finding there's too many marks, just rub off this front part. Because obviously you would ask your client where you want the brows to start, but for me, where the old tattoo is fine, it just needs extending. So I would end up rubbing off here and just starting where the brows already are. So again now, where you've just done your completely straight line up, you want the exact same gradient on the bottom, so you're not changing it. For me, I like quite a flat brow, so obviously this is where people will differ, but I just want it to be nice and the same as the top brow. I just think it looks nicer overall. Some people do prefer to go slightly more arched underneath, but I just prefer it flatter. So we've done one mark, do the exact same on the other. So where we had the top, hold your string and do it the exact same underneath. And then all you need to do now is work out the angle coming down. This part I find the hardest because you can't actually, there's no real way to work this out now. You've just got to go off eye. Obviously we've got Tasha's hair there, so this is going to help us. So from this point where your other two marks meet, you're just going to bring it down. And yeah, it looks quite angled for now, but we can sort that out with our pencil. So we're just going to make a mark, and exact same on the other side. So if you notice, it's going further here, but we're going to stop the brow where our other mark is. So because it's getting messy now, we can wipe this off and just sort out this underneath part and this underneath part with our pencil. So that's the only part I'll do with the string. Only part I'll do with the string. We're going to use a little micro brush to do this part. So this is a bit of a, I don't know if it's controversial, but I like to use a baby wipe. So I know a lot of people say you can't now because we're going to tattoo, but to be honest, if you can use it on a baby, why can't we now use it before we're going to tattoo, in my eyes? So, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to use it to just wipe round the skin now, just to clean it up before we make the final marks of the brow and just neaten up the arch. Because it can get a little bit confusing if you just leave everything on. And I know a lot of people would potentially like start to pluck the brows now where you're not needing the brow hair, but this is the last thing you want to do. Your client's not seeing the stencil and they might not even like the shape yet, so don't start to pluck anything out. Right, so that's neat enough for now, I would say. So for the underneath line, just going from underneath this arch to the tail, so underneath here and to the tail, I'm just going to draw it on now. So this is up to you how thick you want to do it. But obviously we've ended our marks just underneath the arch, so all we need to do is draw further down. The tip with your pencil is just draw super lightly. The lighter you are with your pencil, the neater your line will be. If you look how thin my pencil is, it's just going to make your life so much easier. So here, where we already had our marks before, you can just neaten this up very gently and it'll draw on perfect. So we'll do the same on the other side. So here, where it looked a bit more of an angle from using your string, and then again, the underneath. I have a slight stretch on the brow, but not much because you don't want to change the shape without realising and pull it too tight. And that to me, other than us wiping off the front and just checking that they're the same with the calipers, is just a quick, easy way to get a decent stencil on. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it's been helpful and we'll see you on the next one.